Hello, my name's Claire Holland and I've been asked by Smith & Swepson to talk a little bit about behavioural optometry and how I got involved in it myself. I've been doing behavioural optometry for well over 25 years. I must have seen literally thousands of children in that time and assessed them for vision-related learning difficulties. I've been with Smith & Swepson a few months now and loving being in the team, and I'm really excited about introducing this new area of specialism to the practice. So what might you look for in a child that needs my kind of help? It could be that your child or a child you teach has difficulty keeping their place when they read. It could be that they lose interest in books very quickly. It could be that they've got loads of verbal skills and terrific general knowledge, but they just can't get that down onto paper and they just have no interest in accessing the written word. Sometimes these children start learning to read easily when the words are very large and just a few words on the page, and then when they have less pictures and more compact print, suddenly their interest goes, and those are all signs of visual problems, so things to look out for. So what could a behavioural optometrist do to help? Well, we examine the function of the visual system really carefully to find out what it is that's holding them back. Very common issues can be simple focusing problems. So when we look far away, our lens system is relaxed. When we look at something close up, it has to be very active. And just as when we reach our 40s and 50s and 60s, our focusing system naturally reduces, it can be the same for a child of 7 or 8 or 9, but they don't know to complain about it. They don't know what's different, because the way you've always seen the world is how you think it's going to be. So that's one very common problem. The other is how they use the two eyes together. So looking in the distance is fine because our eyes are looking straight ahead. When we look at things close up, we have to bring them much closer together. And if we can't do that easily and for long periods, our attention is lost. We look out of a window, we daydream, and it's a known symptom of attention deficit problems. So looking at how their convergence is very important. And the other third very common issue is how they move their eyes across the page. So we don't move our eyes across the page smoothly when we read. We fixate on a word, jump to the next one, fixate, jump to the next one, and so on. And it's those little jump eye movements often are not as swift and efficient as they might be. And that can make the child lose their place. It could be they keep their finger under the word for much longer than you'd expect. And they sometimes miss whole lines of print, which means the story just doesn't make sense to them. I recently saw a young man of 18 actually, just approaching his A-levels, who had all of those issues, every single one of them. And he'd been referred initially to see a behavioural optometrist when he was 9 by an educational psychologist who knew about the kind of work we could do, and again at 13. And each time he'd been told by his regular optometrist that all was absolutely fine, not to worry, not to bother. When I saw him at 18, he couldn't focus easily, he couldn't use the two eyes together. If you brought something in towards him, he couldn't look closer than here, and he couldn't move his eyes across the page. So no wonder he'd been struggling throughout his school career. So if you know a child, your own child or a grandchild or a niece or nephew, or maybe somebody you teach in your classroom who tends to lose attention, avoid close work, gets tired more quickly than their friends, can't copy accurately from the board, keeps their finger under the word, loses their place, and just generally doesn't progress as well as you would expect, do recommend that they see a behavioural optometrist. There's more information on the Smith & Swepson website, and there's more information on the BABO, that's the British Association of Behavioural Optometrists website, and there's some very good American sites which you can get links to from those sites. So do check it out and make sure your child has a chance to do their best. Thank you.